Okay, part 2. Part 1 saved fine, so all good. Where was I? Steps, load chunk, tombstones. Now, I haven't checked the tombstones yet, but let's do it right now. Let's move the mic somewhere better. There. Right. I've decided I definitely will make it so that the tile thing is done automatically. This is just ridiculous. So there's the tombstone 1. Unfortunately, same issue with white. Tombstone B. Same. Oops. There's an issue too. My chunk menu gets too long, so to speak. Tombstone B. Same. Basically, I think every object needs to be checked. It's a hell of a lot of work, I know, to go through and do them all. Don't know what those tiles are doing there. But they all do suffer. Let's just skip a few because it's going to happen, isn't it? Open. Yeah, they pretty much all suffer. Every object has to be checked, unfortunately. Tractor. Yeah, they've all got it. They've all got some of it. Oh, wait, mobile phone pausing the record. Right, I'm back. Hopefully it resumed fine. What was I saying? Yeah, I'll try a few more objects, but unfortunately I think all of them have the issue. Indoor. Let's have a look. Boxes, big box. I haven't checked the big boxes yet, or any of the boxes, but yeah, the chain there looks to be suffering, and maybe that's not, I don't know. Yeah, the boxes, them boxes are fine because they're exactly 32 by 32 or 64 by 64, whatever they are. So they're okay because there's no edge. Rather than carry on showing the things with the white issue, I'm going to go through and keep on talking about the editor. Right, okay, so if I go to show grid, I can zoom out and I can go back to my street. This is looking nice. What else can I do? Alright, okay. I've already showed undo, but I might as well show it again. I can undo on layer, so I can just where the hell is it? Yeah, so I can just do Control Z and it takes away all of these. The redo doesn't work yet. Redo doesn't work yet, but it will. Toggle copy and paste mode means if you tick that, then you can. So it's ticked right now. So I think I showed it before, but just to remind myself, it means I can select a chunk like that, and it'll copy whatever's on the layer. Seems to something went weird there. That's a small bug. Need to fix, but yeah, copy paste mode does that, and you can turn that on and off like that. Extra tests is for testing sprites mostly. Again, the star ones are defunct, I'll delete them, but the test sprites, just briefly, I'll show it so I remember. So, go into sprites, let's try zombies, select them all, you open it up, and then it doesn't paint until you turn on thread painting. Well, I don't know what's happening there. Here we go. So, yeah, that's showing the zombies, which they look perfect. They look really good. They look very nice indeed. Don't see any white pixels really. That's fine. And they look awesome. Test a few more. You have to, once you click test sprites again, it stops it, and then you can click it again to start it. Let's see, male 3. Select all of them. Yeah. So it shows the death, the shotgun hits, the walking, etc. Test legacy. So test sprites is 8-frame sprites. Test legacy sprites is for testing 16-frame sprites, like the old hero. So the old hero will work like, oh, my thread painting's a bit weird. Okay, there it is. There's the old hero. So 16 frames looks beautiful, but I know we've moved to 8 now, but I left that option in for checking it. And the test legacy sprites, the boss right now is 16 frames too, so I'll just quickly show him. I think I cut up the boss wrong or something, but so the animation is a bit messed up, but anyway, just for the sake of demonstration, there he is. See, it jerks there. That's my fault, I think. I need to check in that, but there's the other boss, and he looks good on the thing. Right, I'll turn off that. So I've gone through all of the file, I've gone through all of edit. Blow chunk used to just delete the chunk from the that was waiting to be placed, but a right click does that now, so I'll get rid of that. Test sprites, chunks, we know the chunks menu allows you to click on it and it will give you back that chunk. There you go, there's a lamppost. If I go to the factory, there it is. So the chunks menu basically just allows you to load a chunk you've loaded, so you don't have to go through the loading procedure again. A right click will get rid of a chunk, which is when it's floating around like that. View, show output, shows the output window. Oops, I'll get rid of that. Which is this one I demonstrated earlier. And as you can see, the scale at the top here does change as I... Oh, should. Oh wait, I think I have to turn off thread painting. Close it right down. Okay, the scale should be changing there. For some reason it isn't, but I'll fix that. ZAA is true because I have zoom anti-aliasing on, and ZAAT is false because I've turned off the text one. If I want to, so we know about show output, we know about show grid. If you are showing the grid, and then you can click that one, show grid underneath, and then it shows it underneath anything which is being displayed. So show device doesn't work right now, but it used to, but I'll fix it again. That basically just shows a square around here somewhere that will show what on the device what it would look like. On the device menu here, you will have a list of devices you can select, like different Android devices, iPhone, whatever. So we can see what it'll look like on an actual finished device with all the background and weather and stuff. Zoom anti-alias, I've already mentioned that. If I turn that off, you can see it gets a little bit more jagged and things like that. Same for text thread painting, I mentioned, just constantly calls to the painting. We need that for testing sprites and various other things. Scale to exact size, I already mentioned, which does that. Enable drag scrolling. Okay, enable drag scrolling. Simply, it'll only work in exact size mode, but what it means is, if I want to place the mud, for instance, if I want to place, no, there's a bug there, but I'll fix that. Oh, I'll just load another one. So enable drag scrolling is good for placing singletons, because if I want to place this brick wall texture, let's pretend that for some reason we need it under the ground here, I can just go like that, and it'll drag along, and then when I let go it does that. So it'll scroll these scroll bars as you drag, basically. The scroll bars are a bit buggy right now. In scaling mode, they're kind of redundant. I should add some code so that the scroll bars adjust to the scale, but I haven't done that yet. View, right. Disable scaling just turns it off altogether, so now the mouse wheel does nothing, for instance. Might be a defunct option in the future, who knows. Click it to turn it back on. You can zoom right in with the scaling. Obviously it gets blocky, but that doesn't matter, that's just for editing. But we can look at issues closely with that. For example, we can see the chimney here closer with the white dots or whatever. So scale to exact size. I think I might have showed all of the features. Oh no, I haven't. The mini map. I'm going to turn off all the other layers apart from. I'll just turn on this layer with the trees, right? And all the other things I've placed. So the mini map here, what it does is it'll draw. You can click this. That's the mini map, and it'll show you up here a representation of everything on that layer in green. Let's say I turn that one off and I turn back on the background one, and I turn on the background mini map, which shows you the shape of the buildings and everything that I've added. And these here is a zoom. The green button here is a zoom. Oh, I should put a repaint in there. I'll just put thread painting on for now. So that's a zoom on the mini-map. Might come in handy, might not. But zoom in, green is zoom in, red is zoom out. I haven't really mentioned this thing, which is just the last system out message to arrive. I just put it there. It could be handy for seeing certain things, errors or whatever. This little thing that's moving left and right here is red right now because I have it on thread painting. If I turn off thread painting, it goes to this sort of dull yellow color. The purpose of this is just so you know if the thread for the app is actually struggling or doing some work. Right now you can see it's moving smoothly, so the thread is fine. But if I was to be placing a massive chunk like the church, I'll place some normal buildings now, because they were all background. Let's place some more stuff, right? So if I was to place a loaded chunk, buildings, let's say I'll put the basement in first. Open tiles. Whoa. So there's the basement. If I want, I could place it like that. Oops, why is that happening? Oh, I'm working on the wrong layer. Okay, so I'll go back to 3. And I'm placing it there now. Okay, well, I'll place it on 0. So I can go to 0 and do that. Oops, edit, undo. There it is, the basement placed nicely. So let's say I want to place the church, which is probably one of the largest buildings. Then the thread thing, as you can see here, and I suspect my voice even might not be recording properly now because this is such an intense activity, but let's see, the church is being loaded, so that's why that stopped, because there's a big operation in progress, as well as my computer is going nuts. So I would expect that maybe this is affecting the recording right now. Okay, it's back to life. I don't know if the recording messed up there because it was so intense, but if it did or didn't, doesn't matter. That thing there stopped. That showed you that the thread was struggling. All it means is just wait. You know, don't assume it's crashed or anything. It just means wait. So I can place the church. Let's make sure I've got enough space. So I could place the church along here. Maybe I'll just put it there for now. Boom. And again, you saw it slowed down there because there was some activity. Just a little feature I want in After Effects that doesn't exist. I decided that code myself. I can place the steps in there later on with the editor. I'm not going to demonstrate that now. Too much effort. Church. Last house. Another big one. Boom. So it's loading the last house now. Not normally this slow, to be honest. There's probably some optimizing to be done, etc., etc. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It has to load 3,000 tiles or so. That's why it's a problem. Right, looks like it's loaded, yep. Comes back to life as soon as it loads. I can just dump that anywhere. As you would no doubt imagine, it's quite easy to build something now as long as you take the time and that. Right now I'm just plonking them anywhere, but it could be a really good design once I get up to it. Extra, I think I've done all that. Okay, there's a couple more features. So we've seen the mini-map, we've seen the zoom. These things here represent the width and height of the last chunk. So the last one was 75, 48. 75 chunks wide, tiles wide, 48 high. That's just for the code, really, and for me and all the rest of it. What was I going to look at? Oh yeah, the eraser. Just copied the Photoshop style eraser. You click that and it moves a bit to the left and there's a couple of dots so you know it's working. So basically now what that means is, what? Weird. Drag scrolling is enabled, right? That's what happened there. When you're zoomed or anything and you enable drag scrolling, it can really mess up. So the eraser just means you can take chunks out of things like that, which will be useful for deleting land or whatever that we don't need, you know. And then obviously using the undo, you can go back like that. So we've talked about the eraser, we've talked about the output, talked about the tools window, talked about the zoom, talked about them things. I feel like I implemented a lot more than this, but it takes so long to code something so basic. Device will be done. View, I've talked about all of them. You get shortcuts here, like showing the grid, you can use Control G. I mentioned the shortcuts earlier. Yeah, so enable drag scrolling, we not talked about that. I don't know if there's much else to say really. Just trying not to miss anything out for myself mostly. If I double click on here, that's weird. Was it crashed? Nope, hasn't. Anyway, if I double click on this message here, it should print out information about threads. That's kind of really pointless, I guess. Well, there it is. So let's flush it. If I one click, gives you thread info here. I don't know. I'll put that in just in case. Probably useless, but again, something to remember for myself. Nothing there. So load chunk loads it and does that. Yeah, expert. Yep. So I think that's pretty much covered the editor and all of the features that I have implemented so far. So this video is for me to remember and just to show curious people, and to also show the artist that the dandruff effect is in effect. Pixel dandruff or digital dandruff. Never heard that term until Magic mentioned it, and then I googled it. It's real. I think that is about it. Thanks a lot.